Hey y'all, welcome and welcome back to my channel. My name is Alanda Madeline. For the ones that is new, I know you guys are here because of my thumbnail and the title on this video. Yes, I was in jail for 24 hours. So if you are interested in knowing what in the world Alanda was doing to cause herself to get locked up, stay tuned. On a Thursday afternoon, the kids were, of course, it was a school day. I parked my car right out my front because I was just waiting for my youngest, Dre, to get off the bus. So once the bus pulled up, she was already super late. When the bus pulled up, I said, we was discussing the times, like you usually be on time. Now you're making me late to go get my other child, from school. It was already an ongoing thing for the last couple weeks anyway about her being on time. The time that they usually give you, that they're like a drop off time. So anyway, said, okay, have a good weekend, because Friday schools was closed the next day. So when I got him off the bus, I looked at his face and I seen like a green mark right here. So I'm like, what in the world happened to your face? And I asked him, I said, what happened? And he said his brother. So I said, okay, we on our way to go get Karan. So I put Dre in the car, strapped him in, and then went on and get Kai from school. I didn't think nothing of it on the way home, but when I finally parked the car and we were walking inside the house, I took a glance at his face again. I took my fingers to his chin and lifted his head up so I could look down at his face and see the mark. So I said, what happened? And I actually, when all of this took place, even when the bus rolled up, I was on the phone with one of my homeboys because we were just already chatting. So he was on the phone the whole time. And he said his brother did it. I was a little sarcastic because I didn't believe that his brother did it because I didn't see it that morning. I said, "What? Kai, did you hit him in the face?" His brother said, "No, mommy. Maybe he hurt himself on the bus or at school." So I said, "Okay." I said, "Let me find out. He at another school and he's still getting hurt." I didn't think like nobody purposely hurt him or nobody hurt him at all. I just thought maybe, kids can play around too hard and hurt themselves, in gym, running through the halls, on a bus, anything. So that's what I was thinking about. So I said, okay. We came in the house and that was that. I was invited that Friday. So Friday, the schools was closed. I didn't reach out to the school or anything. I said, I'll do it Monday. I'm not going to worry about it. I asked him, it's not like he approached me like someone hit him, just whatever. I didn't think too hard on it. I was invited. My girlfriend had graduated from college, and I was invited to our graduation party. So on that Friday, schools was closed. I was up doing her candy apples, doing her treats and stuff for her treat table and all that stuff. Saturday, I dropped the kids off. I didn't go back and get them until Sunday. So I got the kids. We came home, our little normal routine, getting their clothes ready for this week, washing clothes, this, that, and the third. Monday came around, I sent him to school. Everything was cool. Everybody was, at school and everything. Mind you, my two boys, they go to different schools. After a while, I'm going to give it about like 2 o'clock, my phone rang. And I answer all calls because I just don't never know if it's a doctor's office for somebody in the house. It's just emergencies. If somebody's not in the house, you never know who that phone call could be for or about, So I always answer my phone. So a lady called from CPS stating, hey, can I speak to Miss Alanda? And I'm like, speaking. She says, hey, I just wanted to let you know that I have Dre because he had a mark on his face and someone reported it. And we're down at the hospital if you can meet me down there. So I'm sitting there like, he at the hospital. I said, I'm telling her, I remember he had something on his face then because, I seen it on Thursday. I was wondering, like, I was confused because I'm thinking he hurt himself at school because usually with Dre, if I give him a bath the night before, I give him a shower in that morning, regardless of it all, I get him dressed on my bed. I lay his clothes out on my bed. I lotion him down and put on his clothes, brush his hair, whatever I gotta do, cologne, everything is in my room. Well, I'm gonna say the majority of the time. Sometimes it will be his room, but majority of the time is my room, and that particular day was my room. And so I didn't see anything on his face unless he changed colors. He's lighter than us. So unless he changed colors, I don't know. Like, I just didn't see how that happened when they. I just didn't understand it. But I was explaining to her, no, I'm thinking that he heard himself at school. When I took him off the school bus on that Thursday, I noticed it then. Right after the bus left and I was putting him in the car in the seatbelt, I seen the mark then. So she said, well, somebody reported that it was a mark on the face and they just had to let, us know. So I met them down there. So before I got down there, a police officer called my phone. Hi, can I speak to Orlando? I said, speaking. So they asked me my name, my address, my date of birth. So I gave it to him. So once I got down there, I was like, I wonder why the police calling me. Like, what is really going on? So I'm like, here I go again with this fucking CPS and this school. Now, this is a whole nother school, that's calling on me. Like, it's something really going on in my home, And I'm like, this gotta be where so cases is being, like, even though cases has never been an open case, maybe it's like, it's a track of things, it's a track, they track and it's a track with his name. Meaning, like, if something happened with a school, even if he get transferred or whatever, like that case may be, that paperwork still follow him. That's what I'm thinking. Like, for them to be thinking my household is abusive household or something. I get down there. They introduce themselves to me. It was just so crazy because I'm like, oh my goodness, what is going on? So when the lady explained to me again that someone anonymously called to say somebody hit them, so I'm like, was it the school? And she was like, we're not to allow no information. We just know that we had to take the call or whatever. So I'm sitting there like, oh my goodness. So then she also added that the bus driver said that I'd be 45 minutes late picking up my child. I'm like, 45 minutes late? My oldest is 10 years old. My youngest is 7. I have never been late going to get my kids from school. And if I've been late, it was probably 2-3 minutes tops. I never, ever been late since they started school, picking them up late. Daycare, none of that mess. I have never. And the way the things are now, I'm more home. I just steps out front to get them off the bus. That lady has been late about 2 weeks now because of other parents or whatever the case may be, new student, whatever it was. It ain't had nothing to do with me. I just know once she wasn't there at drop off time, 5 minutes after that, I have to pull off and get another child. And that's what I was trying to explain to the lady. I'm like, I am a good mom, whereas though I don't play them games when it comes to my kids. I have always been on top of things when it come to them. So the cop came on in and he was like, well, he need to ask me some questions. And the questions that he asked me, well, the lady first, she was asking me, do I know what happened to his face? And I said, no, I do not know. I'm thinking that he hurt himself at school. I'm not saying that no one did anything to him, but he might have hurt himself. I said, because I recognized it on that Thursday, and that's that. So the cop came over and he said he wanted to ask me some questions, and I was all for it. So he was like, hey, Mr. Landa. He was like, so what happened? Basically asking me the same question. I said what I said. When I took him off the bus, put him in the car, I noticed a mark on his face. The mark was like green. It was a little teeny puffy. It was like right here. And he was like, oh, okay. So he was sitting beside me and everything. So he was like, do you have a religion? And I was like, yeah. And so he was like, oh, so you believe in God? And I was like, yeah. And I told him how I grew up with Christianity and things like that. He told me he grew up Catholic. I wanted to say, sir, what that got to do with me just sitting here, whatever? I said, well, let me tell you this. I said, I have a witness that was on the phone on Thursday, a person that I was talking to on the phone, and they can relay the same thing that I'm telling you, how questions was asked to my son when I first identified that mark on his face. So they allowed me to call him, and I called him on the phone, and the police talked to him, and, they was just rapping and stuff, and they was saying, like, Alanda is not that type of person. I understand that she, disciplined her kids, but she's not out to, harm them and everything. And that's what I told them too. Like, I'm not going to go in there like, oh no, I don't hit my kids. No, I pop the mess out of when they need pop, and I am aware that they could be watching me right now, but I don't care about none of that. I don't care about that. My kids don't get abused. I did not know that they was going to take Kyron to the back and question him and everything. So I guess, according to him, he was telling me that they asked him, do mommy punish you? And what did she do when she punished you? And I think he was saying that he told them that I hit them in their butt, their arm, their legs, and stuff like that. But, okay. And so what? I mean, they don't got nothing to do, what's going on with Dre and today. You know what I'm saying? I don't leave marks on my kids. It's never that serious. What hurt a kid the most is taking shit from them. You know what I mean? When they want their remote to the TV, the remote to the game, playing outside, candy, all that kind of stuff. That's what hurt, because that's what they go for on an everyday. But anyway, I didn't go in there like I'm that mother that don't, oh no, I don't even touch my kids. I don't do anything. No, I told them I was full force letting them understand that I am a mother. I'm going to discipline my kids before this man, police officer, discipline my kids. If you don't discipline your kids at home, they're going to grow up and these officers going to discipline them in their own way. So that's just the way I carried it, right? So the officer was like, well, I believe you, ma'am. He was like, I really do. I really honestly believe you. So the lady came back over, the worker, and she sat beside me. She said, well, do you have anybody that can take your kids? And I said, take my kids? Take my kids for what? They can go home with me. What you mean take my kids? So come to find out that I guess they both had planned that they were going to lock me up because I had a warrant. The police supposedly did his job first, and the worker couldn't do the police job. So the police was like, he didn't say anything. He's still talking about Christianity, Catholic. Do I believe in God? He believed me. Like, seriously, he really believed me. And I don't see you to be a monster or a bad person to your children. From the looks of it, it looked like you're a good mother. And because the way I was just being myself. It's no way that I could be anything else but myself, because the truth don't need no support. The truth is the light. And I'm dealing with a police officer and a worker where they both, I guess, study psychology. So, whatever they can tell when a person doing certain things, body movements, certain things they say, that they can tell a person is lying, I guess, So I'm just like, I'm not even worried about none of that, because I'm only going to speak on what I know. And this is what happened, So when she asked me, do I have anybody to get my kids? I was like, I didn't know what to say. My heart dropped and everything, like, why they can't come home with me? So then that's when the cop said, well, you have a warrant for your arrest. So I said, a warrant? That's when I broke down and started crying like, oh my God. I said, I don't know what I'm doing. I said, I'm not out there. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm always in the house. I take care of my kids. I take care of my mother. I'm not out here committing crimes and doing nothing wrong or nothing like that. What do I have a warrant for? He was like, I don't know. So I was like, the only thing I could think of is I had jury duty, and I kept rescheduling it because I needed to get a letter stating that I'm full-time caregiver for my mom, so I don't be sitting in the court all day when I could be home with my mom. And then I said, but you guys know I never took the letter to the court office. I never did it. I got to reschedule, but I never took the letter there, and I got the letter typed up, professional head letter, all that stuff, and I never took it to the court. So I said, "Oh my God!" I said, "I think that's why I have a warrant." So the police was talking to, well, I was calling just different people, and I'm telling y'all some good ass shit. When you in some type of trouble or you need, sorry guys, my phone had dropped. But what I was saying was, when you people get exposed when you in some trouble or you need help. People will be exposed. You will see who will really, really, literally be there for you when you need them. When you never need them, but they always need you. But they cannot come through for you. You know, so that was a lesson learned there. But anyway, I wound up calling and getting help. And it was just so weird because I just recently did a video on when I took my son down to the same hospital, guys, the hospital I always go to, John Hopkins, and I seen kids in there with the police officer. They rode in a police car and the dad came in. It was like, I felt sorry for that family, and I went through the same exact thing. It's like I spoke it up to me, but I was feeling bad for that family, and I went through the same exact thing. But anyway, I just was like, oh my God, I just couldn't believe I'm sitting in here. This is the hospital that know us. We get everything done here. And I was happy that we were there because I'm like, they could speak for me too because, hey, they know us here. You know, they always telling me what great of a parent I am. They see Dre when he's don't have no clothes on. They don't see no bruises. So they never experienced anything. And Dre has been dealing with them since, let me see, his first surgery that was on his back. He about 1 year old. About 1 year old. Up to now. Never been nothing. Nothing. But anyway, so I just was like, wow, you know. So come to find out, they planned to lock me up beforehand. It just looked bad. Little baby go down to the hospital, got a bruise on him, and I got a warrant. I probably look like some gangster or something to them. So they already planned to, you know, lock me up or whatever. So once the cop got to see who I really am, he had to change of heart. He didn't really want to lock me up because he pulled the worker up and said that she can just actually turn herself in because I don't think it's a bad warrant like that. Nothing that I committed. I mean, it's a crime, I guess, when you don't show up to court, but, you know, it wasn't nothing. He seen the innocence in me, and he had a change of heart. He did not want me to be locked up. So I remember the worker was saying, oh, you can do that? And he was like, yeah. So he came to me and was like, well, are you going to turn yourself in? And I was like, well, I can. And he was like, well, if you do, you still have to get prepared with someone to watch your children and to, you know, watch your mom or whatever. So I was like, well, yeah, you're right. I said, well, let me get a hold of somebody. So when I got a hold to my peoples, that's when I was just like, all right, well, we just going to do this or whatever. So I come to find out, you know, everything was just happening all at one time. Get the call that my child is down there, CPS, and then now I got a warrant. I didn't think about, you know, what the hospital said, what was the end result with that. Only thing I know, it just turned into me having to go in, you know, turn myself in or whatever with the cop or whatever. So then, it was like, it was so much going on that day, that particular day. I think a 16-year-old had got shot and killed. So it was a lot going on down there in the emergency room. It was so much stuff going on that the worker never said what the hospital said or nothing like that. All I knew was, I told the cop, I said, look, let me tell you something. If I go, I'm not leaving my car here. I have to take my car home. You know, I'm not going to just leave it here. I'm already going through all of this mess, you know, and I'm not going to come back and my car towed somewhere, or I got a high ass bill from the hospital because of parking. So he was like, you know what? Just to let you know that I believe everything that you saying and have told us today. I'm going to let you go ahead and drive yourself home without me following you. I'm going to meet you there. He said, I just need your tag number, your license number, and my registration, whatever he needed, the color of the car and all of that. So that way, if I do try to bust a move and skirt, and try to get away, he know how to identify what vehicle I'm driving, my license number, all of that. They're easy catch up with me if I was trying to like escape or something. But I'm like, no, sir, you got my kids. You ready to drive them to my house or whatever. So at this time, I had oh my goodness, y'all, it was just a mess. But I went to the garage, I went on and got in my truck, and I just went on home. I was just like, oh my goodness, all over the place. My anxiety all the way up to 1,000. Once I got to try to get out the garage, it was so many cars. I'm like, oh my God, I just felt so that anxiety was just through the roof, like, because I'm thinking like, oh my God, he probably thinking I'm trying to run away or get away or something like that, because all these cars is in this garage and I need to get home. But anyway, I managed to get through that. I couldn't find my ticket. The lady just let me go head on or whatever. It was just a mess. So when I got here, both my aunts was here, and so the workers was here, the cops was here, the kids was here, of course mommy was here. And so when I got here, the worker wanted to walk around the house, and you know how they do. Well, if you don't know, with CPS, when they come to your house, they want to check and make sure you got food. That was checked. I walked her down the basement, blew water in the toilet in the basement, came up here, blew water in the bathroom. Bathroom was clean. All 4 beds were made. Mommy's, the boys, and mine. Everything was where it's supposed to be, because that's just, I'm home a lot. I mean, the house can get a little junky, but not too much, because I'm home. Like, I keep everything up. No dishes in the sink. Everything is everything. I even put meat down the bottom that I was going to cook, you know what I'm saying, at night or whatever. So, anyway, she checked me off real quick and was like, well, that was on that Monday, remind you. So when she said, she just hurried up and made that little quick move so she can get out so I can be in the hands of the officer or whatever. I went in there and explained to my aunts, because my aunts was looking at me like they was worried. They felt sorry for me. They already know the truth is like, they know how I am. They know I raised my boys to be respectful, to like, so they can grow up to be young men, you know what I'm saying? Like how they supposed to, not no thugged out nigga, like no daggone thugs or nothing like that. I'm not raising thugs, And so my aunt they was concerned, and I had to explain to them like what the police I was there for originally was through that case, but it wound up being that they saying that I had a court date that I didn't attend, and I had a warrant out for my arrest. And I was just trying to explain that to them, like, I'm not in no deep trouble. What I'm telling you, listen, which I know, my aunts know I'm not going to lie to them about what's going on with me. Even if I'm in trouble with something, I got to tell my aunts the truth. The way that I talk to my aunts is the same way I always talk to my mom. My mom is here, and I still talk to my mom, and my mom still talk to me, but it's not the same when she's dealing with that dementia. She's not, it's hard to explain. But anyway, so the lady was like, well, when you come home Tuesday, I'll be here Wednesday or whatever the case may be. So I'm like, you gotta come back or whatever. And she was like, yeah. So once she left, my aunts was like, well, Andy, don't worry about it. She could see that it's a good home here. These kids came here, hung their hats on the hat thing, and they asked them, could they change their school clothes and all that type of stuff. Looked like they were being really trained. She was in both of their rooms. She saw their beds made, all that type of stuff. You see that, I guess what I'm trying to say is like, because you can have a neat house, you can buy the kids stuff, but still be abusive. So let me not say it that way, but I am going to say far as like the way they're being treated at home. But my thing is like, because there's so many, it's parents out here that will cover up knowing that they're beating the shit out of their kids, smacking them and not feeding them, verbally abusing them, sexually abusing, whatever the case may be, and then be trying to hide shit, But what I understand and what I have learned in the deaf community or disability community, that they take things a little bit more harder, especially when they can't, your kid is not that expressive to their understanding. And I understand that too, because there's some kids that can't speak for themselves. I always have been their advocate, whereas though I speak up for them through daycare, through schools, family. It's just I always had to be that one. And that's why I was so torn, because they saying I'm the one, I'm the one that's being this way. And even backtracking to the school, that school he was going to, you know what I'm saying? All that time, they never had a problem. He always came home busted. Look at old videos all the time. I didn't want to say that on YouTube, but I had to, because I was already videoing and stuff was happening. So anyway, the lady left. So the cop was like trying to help me out. Like, well, here's some paper. He gave me a piece of paper, and I had a pen, and he was like, write down numbers you want, because you want to leave your phone home. If you got jewelry on, take it off. Grab a jacket because it's cold, and just saying this and that and that. So he let me go up and down the steps. I washed off real quick. I was doing all that I wanted to kind of do, because he was really generous. He was real nice to me. I guess he was just trying to really show compassion, because I feel like he believed me. And that, like, damn, I really see this lady's situation. It looks like what she was talking about at the hospital, what she dealt with on an everyday. I can actually see it. And he really ain't want to do it, but he was just like, let's just get this thing over with, And he just wanted to be really nice, which he was. He let me do everything. My aunts was laughing, because they was like, girl, you could have came back down the steps with a pow. You could have ran and escaped out the window and everything. He just said so much belief in you. And I was like, yeah, he was really nice. He would just trust me to drive home without him following me and all of that. So I thank him for that. Thank God for that too. So anyway, once I got everything squared away, I showed my aunt. Well, they found out what, I guess they saw the chicken and mashed potatoes and little stuff that I already had out prepared for dinner or whatever, and I just had one on. So by the time that the lady female came, of course the female had to pat me down or whatever, so we took it out on the front porch so my kids wouldn't witness it, which I was still discouraged, because my kids probably thought that I was getting in trouble because of what happened to Dre's face. And I knew they both knew I didn't have anything to do with his face, but it just looked like that, So I went on, did the do. I was okay, grew up in the hood, but I'm not ghetto. So, I just went on. I just wanted to make sure that my mom and my kids were safe. That was my biggest worry, that somebody could be there for them while I just go ahead and do these little 24 hours. Once I got there, got checked in, they had to do all these things. My pressure was super high, and I knew that. I knew it. I ain't never seen my pressure that high before. So anyway, I wound up being in the little cage with a whole bunch of random females. I was the oldest one in there. I had to even advocate for them, because they were acting so young, and they just, some girl came on her cycle and she started taking her clothes down because the guards wouldn't come help her. And she said she was dealing with endometriosis, and I deal with endometriosis, so I was like feeling so bad for her. And it was just starting to be an ugly, smelly sight in there. So I told them, y'all go bang, and when they're going to come, I'll speak for everybody or whatever like that, which, we came out and they sprayed and wiped down the area and stuff like that and everything. And I told them that she needed showers, she needs some change of clothes. I had to speak for the girl, because they were like, bitch, this and that, just talking to them COs. And them COs they ain't playing with them either. They'll let your tail wait for hours if you talking to them any kind of way. And I guess some of them COs don't even care either. They just don't care. It ain't them or their people, so they ain't worrying about it. So anyway, I managed. I ate my little apple. And what else? What did I drink? I think I just drank water, because I don't drink milk. I drink almond milk. So I know I ain't drink no milk today. Or there probably was 1 or 2%. I'm not sure. But I ate apples. That's all I ate the whole time I was there, so I could survive, whatever. So the lady nurse asked me, am I on any medication? And I told her, no, I'm not on no medication anymore. But I told her what medicines that I was taking. So she took me out of there and gave me medication that I was taking before, the 5 milligram that I was taking, so my pressure can go down. I was just telling her, I had a rough, just a horrible day, just a bad day. That's all I could say. It's not going to ruin my life. It's just that I just say that today was a bad day. Today doesn't make up for anything for tomorrow. Today is just what it is, and it'll be over with. So I managed off and on, going to sleep, putting my arms on. I mean, that's not a place to be. It was so dirty, so stinky, and that place was just, it was just filthy. I'm glad. I rather froze than being hot. And I don't know, y'all. It was just weird. I made my phone calls. I checked in. Sorry, guys. So I made my phone calls. I checked in to make sure everything was clear and cool at home. My aunt said everything is all right. Even if it wasn't all right, she was going to... My aunts, my family, they are... And that's where I got it from. They are... they're going to make sure that their children, their nephew and nieces, the kids, that we are okay. You know what I mean? So, everything was fine. And I know that my 10-year-old could be in assistance because, he could let my aunts know what is what. I mean, I have so my aunts had nights before, but it's not the same because I didn't prepare to have my day like this. Usually, if someone stayed the night, I'll have everything prepared and everything that they don't have to do much. Mind you, they my aunts, so I don't expect for them to try to figure out things in my house and it's not their house. You know what I'm saying? So I try to prep every single thing so they don't have to do much or go far to do what they need to do to maintain, while being here or whatever. So anyway, I felt a lot better. She gave me some encouraging words like, you're going to be fine. Just do what you got to do and get on home or whatever like that. And that just encouraged me a whole lot. I felt a whole lot better. I appreciate y'all, aunties. I really do. I really appreciate y'all because, oh my goodness. Some friends is just not, I don't know. I just know now. That's all I'm going to say. I just know how to carry things because with me, I don't know if it's a Virgo thing or it's just my thing. When a friend called me, I'll be feeling like I need to, sometimes I'll, put myself in a little bit of debt or in trouble a little bit just to rescue a friend. I have always been like that for years, and now that I'm asking you for something, because I don't ask for nothing. So now that I asking you for something, it's like, so I just was like, you know what? I ain't even stressed the issue. I was still nice. I said, all right, then I'm a holler. And that was it, I just know how I have to carry things now. You know what I mean? I did have to go to some other district to answer some questions. I don't know, some random questions before they took me to the actual jailhouse. They took me to some district and asked me all these questions that I wasn't no help because I don't know gangs. I don't know what is that thing? Not feds. People that was locked up for all this other stuff. I ain't know none of them questions. Only thing I told them was somebody broke my mirror off my truck. I ordered my piece off Amazon, put it on myself, and somebody stole my lawnmower. I can't tell you about what drugs is floating out in the streets and all this other stuff. It was like a questionnaire or something like that they wanted to ask me. So the police did take me to that district before he even took me there or whatever like that. But anyway, once all that was done for as me being there, I did call one of my other homegirls, and as soon as I checked out, got my belongings and checked out, and it was great. Walk up the street, she was coming down the street, she got me and took me on home. So I thank God for her as well. With me, just thinking, they always say when you're in the hospital or when you're down or when you locked up or something like that, they give you time to even think about things. And that just made me think like I have to have a plan, my emergency plan. When if something happened to me, what is what? You know what I'm saying? And I know I got a couple people upset when I said this, but I think that was something that everybody had to really think about. What or who can Alanda call? Or if Alanda is not able to call, what is next if something happened to me? You know what I mean? I get home and everything, and things is back to normal. Of course, I had to wash my hair, threw my clothes away, all of that. That was just nothing to keep, you know. It was just weird because it traumatized my house. It didn't bother mine much because she had somebody with her, and I understand if mine wasn't dealing with dementia, she would have been very supportive as well. It's so much to discuss, whereas though, you know, in due time, it'll be discussed. The next day, which was on a Wednesday, because I remember I got locked up on that Monday, came home Tuesday, and the worker came on that Wednesday. So when she came in and was like, well, she actually called and said I have to have what was that, a safety plan. And I'm like, a safety plan? What does she mean by a safety plan? So I didn't worry about it. I'm thinking like maybe she's talking about the house. And I'm like, I already have a safety plan. I thought I was going to be showing her something once she got to my home because I already have a safety plan. I even got an escape plan just in case it's a fire. I have fire extinguishers. I'll make sure that the firemen come and make sure that all my little fire things is working in here. I have childproof and adult home. So, you know, I was ready to show her that when she got here. So when she came in, she came with the same lady that she came with before at the hospital with before. She was on some other shit. You know what I'm saying? Which I felt like she was on something else too at the hospital, but you know, because she was all for me getting locked up. That's why she asked me, is anybody getting your kids? That's why she jumped the gun before the police. What should have happened was the police should have told me that I had a warrant for me not going to court, or just I had a warrant. And then she's supposed to came in and say, hey, do you have anybody to get your kids? But because the police felt sorry for me, he never mentioned it. And she couldn't do his part. He can't do her part. So she did her part and said, you know, that's why I got like to be that way. So anyway, when she came in, I never knew when they took Karan in the back, they had questioned him and had asked him what happened to Dre. And Karan told the truth. He said he had hit Dre with the baseball bat. Now, they got a bat around here. It's not, it looked wooden, but it's not. It's real soft material. It's bendable and everything, but it looks like wood, but it's not wood. But if you hitting somebody with something, of course, anything will hurt if you aiming it, you know? And I never knew that they asked him that. He only told me that they asked about me and all that type of stuff. So when he told her the truth, she never told me that he confessed, because I'm still telling the police, go up to the school, ask to see it on camera, look on the school bus, ask the school about everything, you know, because I'm still not in the know. And like I said, it was so much going on that day because a little kid, a 16-year-old had got shot that same day. So it was a lot of commotion and emotion, everything going on because the mom was screaming, you know, about her child and everything all at the same time. When she came in, I was still talking about the school. I actually even called the school that day before she got to me. I asked the school, I told the school, someone had called, you know, I wasn't even worried about the school calling. I just wanted to let them know what happened. Can y'all please keep a good eye on my child, whatever. I don't want to have to go through the same thing I went through with the old school, the previous school that he already been to, you know. And then when she came in the afternoon, she told me that Kyron told her when we were at the hospital on that Monday night that he had hit his brother with a bat. So when she told me, I said, why didn't you tell me? All this time, I'm thinking like, here I am getting in trouble. I didn't think nothing happened at my house. So I remember my aunt asking me, like, you didn't believe Dre that when he said it was his brother? And it wasn't so much of me not believing Dre, because I don't care I don't care how old you are, you're going to know who hit you. Plain and simple. A baby probably could tell or remember when a person hit them, or something happened. It's just the fact that my children, when they doing stuff, say if Dre did something, and if I say, did you do this? He'll blame his brother, or his brother will blame him. So when he said his brother did it, and because I didn't see it Thursday morning, I'm thinking he just blamed him, because that's what siblings do sometimes. They blame each other. So that's why I didn't take him as serious, and then, excuse me. And so that's what I was trying to explain to my aunt. And she, was like, yeah, well, when we was talking and everything, she was like, she wanted to go over the safety plan. And I was like, well, I got safety plan. I said, I got the burners off the stove because I don't want mine messing with it. I don't want Dre messing with it because I remember the time she was like, no, I'm talking about a safety plan of you not hitting them. And I said, me not hitting them. And when we was going through that, she was taking Quran, and somebody else was taking Quran in another room, asking them questions and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh my God, I felt so humiliated. I felt horrible. I felt real horrible because you got my kids standing right here and you're talking about a safety plan for me as if I'm doing something wrong with my kids. Me disciplining my kids every day is something that I'm doing wrong towards them. And then they questioning him, and stuff like that. Asking this and asking that. And I'm like, you talk about a safety plan with that. What? Like, I just didn't understand it. So I said, okay, whatever. So I'm reading the paper and it said, a bruise on his face caused by, and it said mom. And I'm sitting there like, why is it mom here after you just told me that Quran confessed? Because when she told me, I ran right. I knew what bet he was talking about because they always playing with the bet. I always keep telling them, I make them bring a lot of toys in the house once they out playing because people be stealing bikes, all types of stuff. They just sold my lawnmower. So, ever since then, I always tell them bring that stuff in the house. So they bring stuff in the house and sometimes they want to try me and play with the batting ball, football, all that stuff in the house. I said, if it's not in the basement, you have to play outside. You cannot play upstairs by windows, TVs, so forth. So I knew what bet they was talking about. So I ran upstairs and I came downstairs. I gave her the bet. I said, this is the bet. And the bet, it got a little hole right there, the size of his face. So Quran must have hit him, and it must have hit him in the tip of the bet. I don't know. It just got a hole there almost the size of the sword that he had on his face. So anyway, I was disgusted. And at this point, I feel as though the way that I carried stuff, you know what I'm saying, since day one on that Monday down at the hospital, I feel like I'm intimidating her. And because I'm intimidating her, she felt as though like, oh, I'm some kind of threat to my kids. No, I'm not no threat to my kids. I love my kids and I take very good care of my kids and I do not abuse my kids. I'm making you feel some kind of way because you're not going to make me think that I'm a bad parent or I did something that I did not do. So yeah, I probably did intimidate her, whereas though she wanted to feel, and I understand that, they want to just make sure things is what it is and all that other stuff or whatever. That's fine. It is kids out here that parents show one thing, but they do another thing. You know what I'm saying? And they're really hurting their kids. They're doing things to them kids whereas though they're not, it's not cute. You know what I mean? So I understand all of that, whereas though they got to really get deep into it. So I asked her, I said, ma'am, I said, is it that, because the way, do you see the old thing that was brought up with the other school? Because let me tell y'all something. I remember making a video saying that my child was so happy at this school because he's not in Maryland School for the Deaf. He's not at MSC anymore. Well, they tried to fail my child so he wouldn't go to the first grade. They said that he wouldn't know this, he wouldn't know that, this, that, and the third. And that when I took him out to school because I got fed, I just couldn't believe y'all called on me as much as he got hurt there. One time, I don't know if we went out to the playground, we went to a jumping place, we did something, and I just can't remember what happened to his face when he went to school that day. I didn't think nothing of it either because, it wasn't nothing. My kid is light-skinned, so he gonna turn colors. If I was his complexion, I'd be bruised too, you know what I mean? Or red or whatever, but anyway, so I was just asking her, like, is it like a thing? And she was like, yes. And so that's why it looked like to this school, even my homegirl, who's a social worker, said, that stuff follows him, for the rest of his life. So what they did caused damage to his future, our home future. You know what I mean? So anyway, after she left, um, my son, my oldest son, I called him because I was so upset. I called my girlfriend on the phone. I said, girl, I'm so frustrated because, for one, my son lied to me. He did not tell me the truth, and I'm just upset that he told the truth with them. I feel as though he's seen mommy life unfolding before his eyes with cops and workers, that he had to go back there and tell really what happened, even though he didn't tell me the truth. And so, I was just upset. I was crying and everything. And my girlfriend was like, well, just take a deep breath and just calm down. You do have to let him know what it caused. He have to feel that so that mistake won't happen again. But at the same time, you have to be calm when you talk to him. And I got it 100%. I just was like so hurt and just like, I just couldn't believe it. Like, all of this stuff, like, all right, I had a one sitting out there. It's just that this little situation wind up pulling that one out. So it really ain't go together. You know what I mean? So calm down, Alanda, And then as I thought about it, before I even talked to Karan and pulled him up, I said, you know what? He probably told me, he probably didn't want to tell me that he hit him in his face, because I always tell him when they watching boxing, when they watching it's like a little thing now that these women be smacking each other or something in a boxing ring or something. So they be watching that boxing and they be watching wrestling all the time. And they wrestle and this and that and that. I always tell each other, do not hit each other in the head or in the face. Karan understands that Dre deal with migraines, that he can't be hitting his head, his face, or anything, because we're trying to, it's a lot of things that's going on with Dre right now, and he's been to appointments to see that, we just trying to get him together for surgery. We trying to get them headaches together, the migraines that he suffered from, so don't hit him in his head. And that same thing applies to him. Don't hit your brother in the head. I don't mind them flipping and wrestling, and they boys, So, and that's what I was telling the worker, like, they boys, they gonna, wrestle, they gonna do certain things, kids gonna get hurt and all of that, or whatever. So anyway, the lady left and everything, so I had a talk with Kai, and I just let him know that I was very upset with him, and that, it shouldn't have been nobody involved, that I have your back. I love you just as well as I love your brother, and I don't want nothing to happen to y'all, and I don't want nothing to happen to our family. We love each other. We got each other's back and everything. If you talk to mommy, that mommy can help you, and I can be understanding. Yes, you don't want mommy to be upset, but if you don't want mommy to be upset, you have to tell the truth, and she can help you. And I was just talking to him that kind of way or whatever. Okay, so that day went past. And I just was like, I said, Kai, I think it was that night, actually, or the next day. And Kai was like, I don't want that lady to keep asking me questions. And no. So he had made a mistake in his pants. And Kai ain't made no mistake in his pants in a long time. He may not wipe all that good, but he's 10. He getting there. You know what I'm saying? But he really made a mistake. And I was like, I think that is his, his nerves and stuff. And he's not that expressive on how he feel about things. Sometimes I have to ask questions and work around questions for him to answer, or for him to ask a question or something so he can be comfortable, And so he was just like, he don't want them people to ask questions and all that type of stuff and all this type of stuff. So I had to have another talk with him and everything. So then when he went to school, he started showing off at school and everything like that. The teacher called. The teacher even sounded like a child when he called. Kyron is just running around. He act like he don't have no regards, like he won't get in trouble, this and that and that. So I was like, you know what? I said, let me go ahead and tell this teacher what's been going on. So that way the teacher could be in the know of what's going on. And that will be a support for him as well of what he just experienced with his mother, brother, social worker, and all that just happened. So the teacher was like, that may be, that might show why, because the worker wasn't so concerned on what happens with Chiron, because it should have been consequences with him, and his actions on how he control how he feel. Because I think he told the worker why he hit Dre, because he didn't want Dre in his room anymore. He wanted Dre to get out. So she never even mentioned like none of that. It seemed like her full attention was asking these kids questions about me. And I had to let her know, like, you remind me of MSD. Because MSD ain't take my family serious at all. Y'all just want to run over the fuck over. Y'all just want to run the fuck over us. Like, we don't matter. Like, like, we're not real. Like, we're toys to y'all or something. You know what I mean? And that's just how I was looking at it, the way that you asking my kid, and my kids looking at me. And then I had to talk to Karan when he got home and let him know, you can get in trouble. Yes, you can get disciplined for acting up at school. You can. Don't think because of these workers coming in here. That worker got 4 children. She might got 4 good kids, but I doubt it. I'm sure she had to discipline her kids too. You know what I mean? So don't get it twisted on thinking that you can go on to school and going out this house and thinking you can do whatever you want because you think the police and all that stuff. No, that ain't how it's going to work. I told them that you get popped. You know what I mean? But for her to say, well, you can't hit them and you can't do this and all of that. I shouldn't have no fucking rule from the start because I ain't had nothing to do with his face. I ain't had nothing to do with his face. So anyway, it's getting hot, y'all. So after that, like I said, I just kept talking to Chiron, kept talking to him. So one evening, Dre had a little string or something like that, and he came towards me and acted like he wanted to like put it on my arm, like he was locking me up, and I said no. No, I didn't think it was funny because he wanted to smile a little bit like it was a game. And if we didn't just go through this, I probably would have played along because they do play cops, robbers, this and that and that. But to me, in my mind, I felt like he was trying to say that. Sorry, y'all. I just keep getting distracted. Oh, my goodness. It got hot. Plus, I needed to get a fan because, oh, my gosh, my lips getting dry. So I didn't want this video to be long and drawn out or whatever because I have clips of things that I need for y'all to see and hear and everything else. They play cops and robbers and stuff like that, so it wouldn't have been, no harm towards that or anything. So after all of that, the lady came back again, and then she was like, well, it's time for me to be nosy now. And I said, you know what? I don't even care. Go to all the doctors. Like, they got more than just one doctor that they go to, especially the youngest one, the one that is the reason why y'all here. Y'all can go to all them doctors. No appointments have been missed. Nothing. Then she wanted to bring up Maryland School for the Deaf. I'm like, listen, we're not going to talk about Maryland School for the Deaf. I have a case with Maryland School for the Deaf because the abuse that he was getting at that school. They tried to change it around on me and couldn't wait to one day he came to school with a bruise so they could put all what I have on them on me. You know what I'm saying? They found him. They sent him to another school, which Maryland School for the Deaf got their own board of officers. So, and then we got Baltimore Board of Officers or whatever. So, when I went down there, it was like they had to go off of the last school. And I'm like, no, we can't go off the last school. I sit on the floor, the table, anywhere with my kids and do homework with them. I make homework like right now. They're out of school. I sit at the table. I make something up on my phone, what grade they in, what we're working on, and I print it out on my printer and allow them to do work before they play, before they watch TV, before they do this and do that. Just because school is over does not mean learning stops. So I know it wasn't from my end of him failing or whatever. And I got a videotape right here.
Teacher last year who over-reported his behaviors, I realized, she's right, but I had to realize the reasoning is because her ADHD, and that was actual symptoms. Oh no, anxiety disorder. That was actual symptoms I felt with rewinding the system. I couldn't think straight. I couldn't function. I couldn't do it.
Right. Yeah.
Overreact.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm seeing something, and it's aligning something, and it takes a collective group of people to realize what we're doing and to inform the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I thank you for sharing this with me, because it made me learn so much about Andre, and I really could see something with him as I taught him, but he was just in a system that was designed to make him fail, and they made me, the teacher, the blame for it.
Yeah, they really did.
And I'm trying to tell everybody, that's not what I had a distinct
I already know.
I
already know.
Well, right now they're going to call you in this meeting. I don't know if I'm going to be there or not, but just make sure there's full representation in the meeting.
Mm-hmm.
I suggest even go higher, like superintendent, board of trustees type of thing.
Okay.
So I'm going to start from the top.
Yeah, I felt like that because it felt like, and that's the thing, and that's what a lady told me that was at the school. She gave me a number to another school saying that he don't gotta be here, and she was like, she wasn't fussing at me, but she was just like you chose for him to be here. He don't gotta be here. She said there's schools in Baltimore City that will accommodate him. And she said, hold on a minute. And she found me another school that I never knew. And I was crying because I was like, I thought, that's why I've been tolerating this for so long, because I didn't want to, disable him by taking him out to school, and there was no alternative for him.
Yeah.
Because when I reached another school, I found out that Frederick was a high school. And I'm like, wow. So, and I'm like, well, shoot, they all connected anyway.
Yeah,
so I felt,
that's even another thing, because there's two MSD schools, and I feel there's two cultures within. The MSD Columbia School is a lot more diverse. You see a lot of different people. The MSD Frederick School is mostly white,
mm-hmm.
and even being placed in the Columbia School, that has a stigma. Oh, this is the colored school. This is the they send all the Baltimore students here. And then
right.
it's a system that I realized that's been being designed. It's literally segregating. We have two schools. It's the same school, and it's literally segregating. And oftentimes, as deaf staff feel like they're second class, I often see deaf white staff say, we feel like we're different than Frederick. So, thank you for telling me. That's a good point. That I'm going to say in the future. But,
right.
Yeah, just know we're on to something, to break something. This needs to become a whole law, in my opinion, a law. My sister, who was studying law,
mm-hmm.
who has great work ethic in what she does, this is connecting to something within my family that's pressing out, and it's a connection. Everything you're experiencing, I see within my family. It's something going on with Black families that we're experiencing that's a repeated cycle. This needs to be a law to practice positive approaches to behavior, not negative approaches to behavior.
Yeah.
Because it causes mental health issues within our deaf kids. And now that you kind of know this, when you talk to people, you're not going to make a lot of sense, because it's a system that we, it's really complex. But now that it's a deaf kid, it makes the system, going through the system, harder, because you have different cultures. Well, it makes it harder with the Maryland School for the Deaf, because Columbia is a much more diverse area, and there's different layers of identity where it blocks the Yeah, so I'm just trying to see how to put it all.
I'm just
They said that, oh, mom, she didn't tell us that. We don't have files on that. And I said, no. I said, mom told me that she clearly talked to somebody at this school about these files.
right. And I
And
did.
they're like, no, that's not a lie.
That's
And
just
one
like
of the
what they
staff,
said. They said that's just like in the meeting. They said that I didn't ask for any help with him. They said they didn't say it in the
yeah,
file, so they just didn't jot. They don't jot stuff down.
they don't. Yeah, and they realize they have to document everything they're doing that's leading up to something, and they're coaching me that this is supposed to be my view of you. One of them even knew, oh, she has a YouTube channel. Did you know that? I said, I don't. Okay, why is that important? But oh, look at her video. Look at this.
Yeah.
They are coached. I'm in an environment where I'm just constantly getting coached of this negative stigma of you.
Yeah.
And I saw through it, and I'm just like, okay.
I don't. It's not nothing to
And
hide.
it should be the opposite. It should be the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
The school and the system wasn't protecting him.
Yeah. That's
and
crazy.
they filed this case on you, which is a whole other thing that adds to your documents and stuff.
Yeah.
Now you have this stigma on you. Oh, you can't take care of your kids because you got this CPS file on you. Oh, so that puts a whole thing on you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's that deep.
That's crazy, but I'm a win though. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, well, it's a crazy.
That's the whole thing.
Just know if you're rooted in God, you will win every time. It's all things work for good.
It's just so weird how I never felt that way before. Only that school made me feel that way.
Yeah.
Only that school.
And I sensed that.
Yeah, but for that school, it was just different. Like I said, I ain't had no choice but to call on God, because I felt like if it was any other way, I'll be in trouble, and I felt that. Yeah. Even if I was innocent and it was an approach, it would have been way worse because I'm black, I'm deaf, and live in the city. And I kept saying that to my homeboy. I live in Baltimore, I'm black, and I'm black and I live in the city. So I felt like they was already looking at me another way anyway. And I'm like, that's crazy because I'm raising my kids so well. Like, I'm doing the best that I feel like I'm doing better than my parents did me. I can remember certain times when I was young. Not to say that they didn't do their best or they wasn't good parents, but they didn't stop their life. They sacrificed a lot, but they didn't stop like how I stopped with these kids, where working from 8 hours to 4 hours to make sure certain things are met with them. It's certain things that, like, these days our parents should do for their children that our parents back in the day didn't do for us.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And for them to do that, I'm different. I'm not going to talk like you're going to talk. I don't look like you look. But that doesn't mean that I'm doing a bad job, and nobody can make me feel like get me out my comfort zone because I'm not like you. And that's why they don't like me, because of the way I talk and all that. I already felt like that, and so many people told me that. Just for me, because that's something I can't keep to myself, because I felt like I would have been sick. You know what I mean? So I had to express that to the people around me, what was going on with Dre's school.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was just too much. And then the way that they answer me, and then even with the social worker saying, like, I seen all your videos, I'm seeing pictures and documentations and everything. She like, them people don't care what you saying in the meetings. They don't care.
They don't. They already have a
set up mind.
Student view of you.
Yeah.
Set up mind. They already think, like when I said, there's this meeting where the principal, she was like, oh, I felt the need to call for emergency behavior staff for Andre.
Oh, and my God.
The psychologist said, well, that wasn't who actually has the consciences to some degree. He actually said, well, not consciousness of the system, but he knew what policies we were supposed to follow at the school. Said, well, that is, I'm trying to remember what happened. So Charmaine basically said, well, we need to call extra support for his behavior. And the psychologist said, well, that wasn't necessary because it doesn't follow the policy of what we do. And then at the moment when Andre was behaving, I told Charmaine, I said, don't make that call because what I'm seeing is not necessary for extra support of his behavior. She does it anyway. And I'm sitting in this meeting, and then the psychologist, he looks to me, well, do you all know the rules? And he tests me on those rules.
Oh my God.
And he asked me questions, and for finding out, I feel so uncomfortable in that meeting, knowing how I protected Charmaine to show that she didn't know the rules.
Right.
And I found out that is actually a disorder. It's called selective mutism disorder. When you feel very anxious and scared, you become you become nonverbal, like you can't talk. And if you feel in an environment where you feel confident and it's a community, everyone's connected, you show the best version of you. You are the most confident. That's actually a disorder, and that's a disorder that gets untreated within our Black communities, and it feels like we feel unconfident in some ways, but that's actually rooted in something much deep, and that shows you the mental health disparities we have here. Yeah. But what I see within Andre, when he's in an environment where he feels uncomfortable because there's so much focus on his behavior, and when he feels connected, which is like when some of my support staff leave him in the room, when it's just me and him, he's fine. I see it. I see what he can do. They try to say, oh, Andre can't do this. Andre's the only one who can, and he is the only one who could answer questions who they thought the smartest kids were.
Yeah.
Answer the questions. And they didn't know. I said, oh, so they thought he was dumb, but the so-called ones you thought were smart couldn't answer those questions, but he can.
Yeah.
That's how my system is working, and it's coached, and this whole system is coaching everything. It's coaching our teachers and staff to have this view of him that is not him at all, but it's a whole system that's designed to call what's going to happen in the future. And I'm trying to stop that right now. Yeah. And I'm in a living testimony of what happens in the future when you break that cycle. So I'm repeating a stage of the cycle to tell you. Yeah.
I really appreciate this call, girl. I really do. I don't know how long we've been on this phone, but...
it's been 2 hours. Called you. And do you remember when you got on an IEP meeting where you felt emotional and you and the call dropped?
Okay.
The staff, when the call dropped, the staff said, "Oh, she called. She dropped it. That was disrespectful. Why'd she do that? Did your battery die?" I'm telling you something. Did your battery die, or did you hang up so angry that you're this mad Black woman?
Wow.
Now that is I reenacted that with one of the white staff. I tried to call them, feeling I felt so emotional about something I couldn't talk about it, and my phone died, and they had an alternate view of what that was going to be.
Just a lot of situations. Even in the dream, my deepest thoughts about that school. And that's the discernment, I think. And I didn't grab it. I was thinking it. I even said it. But I didn't put it into motion. Yeah, this is all helping me diagnose different disorders within the deaf and Black community that we overlook. And your symptoms and everything that you're saying, it's lining up. So it's all connected. It is all connected. Well, girl.
Yeah, it's on. It's you're just on the map of his success. The
That's
map to
it.
get there.
That's it. That's all it is.
Yeah. So I just felt. Yeah. I felt the instinct. I'm like, I know it's weird to call it too or something. I just felt something. I had to do it, and now I know why.
Yeah, and God allowed you to do that. That wasn't just your strength. It was God's doing too. You know, because sometimes it just be like that. God won't let you rest sometimes with an assignment that you got to get completed. Yeah.
Well, I don't want to keep you up too much.
Okay.
But again, we'll keep in touch. We're going to be in communication. It's going to take teamwork to really break this out. Stay rooted in God. But that's all.
Yeah, I appreciate it, girlie.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Well, you enjoy your day, and I'll be praying for you too because I know it's a lot.
That's all. All right. Well, have a good night.
All righty. You do the same. Good morning. I know. Yeah, it's all right. But I'll talk to you. Thank you so much. All right.
Take care. God bless.
God bless you too. I have a videotape right here with a teacher calling me 2 in the morning, 2, 3 in the morning, talking about I got Dre, explaining to me from that school how they were treating him. So once he came from that school, and when I took him out and all of that, because they tried to call again, like, oh, she ain't bringing him to school. No, I'm not. I'm thinking about homeschooling him. You know what I'm saying? That's when I learned the information about another school. And when I sent them there, according to the records that they had for Dre, they made it like he was just, okay, he's deaf. Yes, okay, he's deaf. But y'all made it like he was very deformed and he was crazy and he's this and he's that. All these things that school that they made him go to. Now, them kids in his class were beautiful children. I swear they were beautiful kids. But they wasn't, how can I say this without saying anything wrong? They didn't know how to communicate. And Dre just didn't belong in that class. You know what I'm saying? And in that school itself. But the way that they made him to be, they tried to throw him in that school like Dre wasn't capable of learning. Dre wasn't capable. He wasn't smart. He couldn't answer questions. He can't communicate. All types of things they tried to say against my child. You know, they tried to make it like our house was just some crazy ass house because we're not in a county and all types of things, you know. And then once we had a meeting with that school, that's the school that I said on my video, he is just so happy because he was so happy. It was a different environment. I could see his face lighting up and everything. And you know what? Wow, wait a minute. Hold on. Hello? Hey, what's going down? No. It's cool. Listen, right, so I'm making a video. I'm doing like a story time, right? And my gosh, I was just trying to explain to them basically what had happened back, you know, the stuff with CPS, the police, Dre, and all that stuff, right? And I was basically saying that you were a witness because you heard, you were on the phone on that Thursday when I got Dre off the bus. And yeah, so it was just like, so now that you're calling, and I'm assuming that you're probably on your lunch break. Huh?
When he came off the bus,
Yes. So I'm just doing a story time about that and just how everything I had to go through and all that stuff, you know, So when I got off, when me and you were on the phone before he even pulled up on the bus. So can you, if you can remember that day, can you run that by YouTube and just, if you can remember what happened that day?
I just remember he came on the bus. If you ask him what happened to him, he said his brother did it. Whatever had happened to him, he said his brother did it. But it was like he came on the bus like that.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, they called them peoples on.
Yeah.
And Karan say he did that. But they still looking at you like you did it though. I don't understand that.
Yeah.
That's up.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I mean, they ain't fully to understand, but I don't know. It's almost
Yeah.
like a setup.
Yeah. But like I was telling YouTube, I was saying like, the paper, it's a paper trail. So whatever happened starting from MSD, that school probably feel as though they ain't trying to be in anything, because I got a case for MSD that they probably, it's probably a paper trail going and it's following him.
I
Huh?
understand that because he come from that school all beat up with bruises on the head and all that kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
They ain't say that.
They ain't say that at all. Not at all. And then the bus driver saying that I was 45 minutes. And then on the report, they said the bus driver said I was 45 minutes picking Dre up off the bus.
Man, that lady was late every day. Even when she told you whatever time it was that she come, she was late that day.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot what time. It was like 2:37.
Yep, that's the day you remember.
Because it was a big thing.
Yeah.
She kept telling me she was coming earlier than that at first, but all of a sudden she was coming about 2:45, 2:50. When you had to go get Karan, but she was making it like you was blowing her off and making her late, like you the one that was late.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she said she was supposed to be there like 2:37, she still was coming in like 2:45, 2:50.
And making me super late to even get Karan. Yep.
Shoot, some people look at that. So where your security is at, man?
Oh yeah. So yeah, I don't want to hold you. I'm gonna call you back. I know what time your lunch break and all that stuff. I just wanted you, to say your perspective of things. All right, guys. So I'm just about to wrap it up in a little bit, because it's just been. I feel like this is a little long enough. But I say all this to say is, parents, mothers, be careful, with your children. Because people. I just never thought that when you got things going on in your life, no drama, you stop hanging with certain people that ain't mean you no good, doesn't mean that the devil's stop working. He's still going to work. Whether it's going to be through your children, through the school, through people that you love, it doesn't even matter. The devil's still working. You know what I'm saying? And I had to sit and I had to talk to my kids and let them understand what we went through as a whole, as a unit, as a family. Not only with that, I made an appointment to their primary care provider. The lady talking about, I'm calling everywhere and this and that and that. Girl, please call everywhere, call anywhere. It does not matter. I don't even care who you call. Take it all the way back. All the way back. All the way back. You will not see nothing on me. Nothing at all about me being a misfit parent. I'm the bomb if I say so myself. You know what I mean? I'm going to toot my own horn on that because I'm not the best parent in the world, but I know I do a good job with my kids. I sacrifice. I didn't sing friends. Leave that kids in the house with niggas. Leave that kids in the house by themselves. They got to fend for meals. Bust their kids' mouth, nose, and all that shit. Yes, I've seen that. I've seen that. Some of the people I've seen that, I don't even talk to them to this day. I really don't even talk to them. A couple of them family members, some of them are friends. But I've seen neglect. I've seen abuse. I know what abuse is. I'm not abusing my damn beautiful ass boys. Not me. You know what I'm saying? But I felt like that lady was a little intimidated. You know what I'm saying? And that's cool. You're going to feel that way because you don't know me like that. And the attitude that I'm giving you is because the way that you making it like you're giving my kids a reason for them to act up and think that there's no discipline afterwards. And you're making them think that they can get away with stuff, but mom going to get caught up. She going to get in trouble on things that she ain't do. Because that's how it was. That's how she had that attitude every time she came to my house. She couldn't find nothing at all. She went all of them appointments everywhere. She couldn't find nothing. Not even one thing. So she tried to bring up MSD. Of course you're going to bring that. Well, let's listen to what this teacher's saying. This teacher is telling you how they treating my kid. How they are training the black people to treat my child in my household. If that's all. But y'all couldn't help me when I reached out to y'all. I had to go to other people in order for me to start a case. I reached out to CPS about what was going on with my kid. So I went on and made, sorry y'all, so I went on and made the doctor's appointment. I told the doctors what was going on and that the only thing that I got out of everything that went on is that my kids got to have a better way of expressing themselves to each other. With the doctor made a great point. She was like, because he's deaf, he don't know every word. He's still young. So for him to say certain things, his expression may be hitting his brother, not to hurt him or anything, but just to hit him. And for, that's just the way that they're expressing themselves sometimes when they're not using ASL or proper sentences. I was like, yes. So I said, well, is it a way that Tyron and Andre can get counseling with me included? Because, we do counseling around here. We do that. Anytime there's bad situations going on, changes in the home or whatever, like the deaths, my brother, my dad, things like that, we run on to counseling and stuff like that. So, and behavior. So she wrote 2 referrals for both boys. All right, so what happened?
So what happened to Jay and asked for what I said no.
You said he asked for your remote?
Yes, he said no.
You said no?
Yes.
Speak up so I can hear you.
I said he said no. He goes.
Come on.
Yes.
How loud you are, laughing and joking and playing with your friends at school. Speak up so I can understand a serious situation.
Yes.
Now what happened?
So what happened is Jay came. My mother said no.
Mm-hmm.
So Jay and he was looking for his remote.
He went in his room looking for his remote?
Yes.
Okay, and then what happened?
Accidentally and hit Jay in his eye, in his face.
So you went in his room and hit him in his face?
Yes.
So where did you hit him in the face at? In your room or Dre's room?
Probably even my room.
Okay, so you said Dre was in your room asking you for your remote?
Yes.
Okay, so what happened after that? Come on.
He's not crying. He cried a little bit, not a lot.
He cried a little bit? Okay, then what happened after that?
Kasha gets the toilet paper. He says apologies.
You said something. Is that how you talk in school?
No.
You're loud in school, aren't you?
Yes.
Okay, let's act like we're in school. Let's be loud. I'm giving you permission to be loud. Like the teacher sometimes tell you not to be.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. I'm listening. You gonna tell me a story about what happened, right?
Yes.
You know how you do story time?
Yes.
Like, mommy, let me tell you a story. Once upon a time. So tell me that same line on what happened the day that you hit Dre. Go ahead, I'm listening.
Once upon a time, and my Dre keep it when I was my mom said no.
Mm-hmm.
So Dre looking for his remote. The remote is either in my dresser or my bookshelf.
Okay. So his remote or your remote was on the dresser or the bookshelf?
No, my remote is on the dresser.
Oh, yours. Okay. I got you. All right, then what happened?
So, Drake remote go away?
Speak up now.
Okay. Drake remote get under the Christmas tree.
Okay. So then what happened?
He accidentally hit him in his face.
You accidentally hit him in the face?
Yes.
So the remote was downstairs under the Christmas tree, right?
No, in his room. Not downstairs.
Okay. So Dre asked you for your remote.
Yes.
You told him no.
Yes.
Okay, what happened after that?
After,
Speak up.
I take it to the bathroom against and what still asking for my remote. I said no.
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay, so you can have my remote.
So you let him hold it?
Yeah, for a bit.
Huh? Come on, let's talk. Let's use your words, baby. You gotta use your words. You gotta talk like you do in school.
Yeah.
When you loud and carrying on. You start acting like this when you know you done did something wrong. But you still gotta speak up. I got a cousin that's in jail right now because he act the same way you're doing right now. He didn't even speak up for himself. Okay, let's talk.
So, should I go hold my remote for a while?
Okay, he held your remote for a while. Okay.
Yes.
And then?
Should I look for something else to watch?
We're not worried about all of that. Let's talk about what happened to Dre's face. Because you grades start being animated a little bit. And we need to know what happened to his face.
Yes.
So you said he asked you for your remote. You said no. He asked you again. You said no. And then he asked you again. And then what happened?
I hit him. I hit Dre in his face with the bat.
So where was the bat?
He's hanging in a closet in the hallway.
It was in a closet in the hallway?
Yes.
Okay, so if you was in your room, how did you get the bat?
Okay. You was probably behind my bed.
Oh, the bat was behind your bed.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So what happened? So how did you get the bat?
After my bed. And that's why I hit him with it. So I just hold it for a bit and started playing catch.
So you hit him. So what did he do after you hit him?
And I just apologized to him.
Okay, you apologized to him?
Yes, I said, it's okay. We should become brothers. I don't want to hit him in the face again.
Okay, so what did he do after you hit him?
He asked you to forgive me. He said, okay.
So what did he do after you hit him? I understand that you apologized and he accepted your apology and y'all became brothers again and friends. But what did he do after you hit him?
After he hit him?
Yeah.
Is
So once you hit him, what did he do? Did he cry?
Yes, a little bit, not much.
Not much? Okay.
No.
So when this all was happening, where was Mommy? Where was I?
Probably you were in playground. You were downstairs in the kitchen.
So you don't know where I was when that was happening?
Yes, probably not downstairs. Probably in your room.
Okay. So I was probably just somewhere, like you saying, either in the room or in downstairs in the kitchen?
Yes.
Somewhere? Okay.
Yes.
So, because I'm just trying to figure out if you hit him, and if he cried a little bit, he ain't gonna, and you apologize, he not going to tell on you, because you know he always tell on you.
Yes.
And you tell on y'all tell on each other. So I mean, I guess that's what siblings do. But um, I just wanted to get, you know, what happened, because I feel as though, because I tell you so much. What do I tell you about when y'all hit each other?
Anytime he hit us
Don't hit him where?
in his face.
Right. So that's why I think you didn't tell me the truth, because you thought you was going to get in trouble for it. But the thing about it is, that's how you know when you don't supposed to be doing stuff. When you can't tell the truth, that means you done something wrong. And that's when you supposed to tell me. The worker never indulged or even asked, was it any kind of plan for me with my children on the way that they express themselves, so they won't be fighting and hurting each other, and to prevent, you know, schools doing what they have to do. Schools had to do what they had to do, but still I feel like it's still a track record, so they just went on with that. But so I had 2 referrals, and I made appointments for both boys. That way there could be some help. But guys, so that's basically what happened. When a lady came, she came with a good spirit. She said she just had to do her job. Her attitude was much better, much clearer, and said that she was going to write us off because it was nothing. They just had to make sure that they, you know, do their part in it. And I told her I understood. It's just that it felt like I was so under pressure on things that I did not even do, you know. And so everything was, you know, closed and everything like that. But still, I just didn't think that it should have went that far, and the way it was unsensitive from her. I didn't feel no sensitivity. Like, she didn't believe me myself, you know. I'm sure she checked out my YouTube channel, you know, and a lot of people post shit that, you know, they don't post the real shit. There's a time and place for everything. That's all I'm going to say. So I have been just, you know, just working with my boys, talking with them, just watching them a little bit more, you know. And because as you can see on the video, I was in my room when all this happened and everything. So you know, but thank you guys for watching, tuning into my channel. Once again, my name is Alanda Madeline. If you are not subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. Sometimes I may not post as fast as you would like to, or sometimes it don't be in real time. It's because I have a lot of responsibility. I do pick up my camera. I may just post it a little bit later than what you expect from me to. But I'm here. I'm not going nowhere. This is my journey. This is my life. And this is what it is, you know. I go through things, but I still overcome. I still overcome. Like I said before earlier on my video, the truth don't need no support. You know, I'm a good mother. I'm a good daughter. And I do the best that I can, you know, with what I got. And that's just what it is. I'm not going to let nothing make me feel that I'm out of order, that I'm out of place, that I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. I thought only on it for a quick second, like, am I a bad mother? But then that split second again was like, no, you're not. No, you're not. You just got to fight for yours. That's all you got to do. And you're going to be a witness. You're going to be a person that can help other people. Even if this video helped one person, you know what I'm saying? You got to stand, especially if you're innocent and you're not out here abusing your kids. You have to just watch your back with anything. You never know. It could be a husband, it could be an ex-husband, an ex-boyfriend, baby father, a sibling, a parent, family member, a friend, a neighbor, anybody, a school, whatever, that will come against you and try to tear you apart, you know. And I'm not even worrying about it. It hurt me to the core because, like I said, fuck with me all day long. But when it comes down to my family, my kids, you know, I can't handle it. I will lose it when it comes down to that. You know what I mean? But like I said, again, my name is Alanda Madeline. I thank you for coming to my channel. Please subscribe to my channel. Comment down below. I'm sure I left out some things, but I feel like this video has been long enough. I told you why I got in jail for 24 hours. And guys, I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all on my next video. All right, bye.